Thank you, Veronique.
Okay, thank you. I'm Veronique, responsible for CLLD in Normandy, and I'm also with Lena from Brussels and Margot in Normandy, who is responsible for aquaculture. She's hiding behind the screen. And I said hello to Chloé from the National Network and Odile from MA. In my presentation, I'm going to talk about the current context in Normandy, and then I will speak about the deal we concluded with our partners in the fields of funding rates, strategy, ways of simplification, and timeline. So the next slide, please. On the first slide, I'd like to draw your attention to new geographic areas. We have two flags today, one large and one small. And we want to avoid too small or too large areas. That's why to switch with the current situation, we would like to avoid this system. That's why we propose two criteria: a balance between 30,000 and 190,000 inhabitants. And the second criteria focuses on coastal cities. We propose 60% cities located on the coast. Our budget is limited to 3 flags. Next slide, please. As you can see on the map, Normandy is located between Brittany and north of France. We have got 2 coastal departments, Manche, Calvados, and Seine-Maritime. In September 2021, 4 flags declared to apply for CLLD. In the north of Manche, in the north of Calvados, and 2 flags in Seine-Maritime. So as we get the budget for 3 candidates, we'll have to make a choice. Next slide, please. So we propose those funding rates which are less than the regulation ones. We keep on 50% for general projects, and we propose 80% for public institutions, small coasting fishing, and running costs. For running costs and public institutions, there's no risk because flags and public institution has got enough budget to compensate the 20% left. For small coasting fishing, giving them 80% is a way to involve beneficiaries to find self-budget. Next slide, please. So this is our strategy in Normandy. This is the result of talkings and workshops we planned with fishery partners at the scale of EMFAF. Finally, we found a compromise between 4 topics. The first one is something about product promotion. The second one is about skill diversification to promote maritime skills among young people, especially. The third topic is tourism promotion, and the last one is circular and waste economy. Next slide, please. For the selection criterion, we keep on classical criterion. That means strategic quality, local partnership, and flag capacity. The most important for us is the strategic quality, about 40%. We are expecting good quality strategy. That's why we chose this percent. As a result, we will take care on SWOT, priority definition, objectives, targets, flexibility to find, and action plan. Next slide, please. For the preparatory support, we decided to give a maximum amount of 80,000 euros instead of 25, which was the national recommendation. But this is only in Normandy. The next slide, please. we tried to find some modification and simplification in the delivery system. On the first line, you can see the line has no change. This is the classical steps. The project proposal, the eligibility check by intermediate body, and the flag committee who select the project. On the second line, the French system is a little bit complicated, so we decided to delete the second selection committee. Some French flag or IB disagree with that and don't want to go and want to go on with the previous system, but it's an option. Next slide, please. The second way of simplification is the SCO, the simplification cost option. After having worked on it with the MA, the 25% SCO on running cost is proposed. So we are going to apply for this to speed the system and to get less administrative work for flag and also for IB. It will be more efficient. There's no more tech to present from flag and from region. The second way of simplification is a new IT system. We hope it will be ready on March at the scale of France. It corresponds to online process with no more paper. The advantage for flags is to apply for projects on time with online, with an access code, a specific access code. And to finish, I can show you the timeline. In Normandy, the launch is already made. It was made in September. Then the candidate must apply by the end of February 22. Until the end of March, we'll have to analyze and to evaluate the strategies, which we are going to involve 5 people working in different staff in region, coming from tourism, environment, or economic field. The flag selection will take place by the beginning of May. It's a provisional date subject to program adoption. We have to take care about, on the next slide, please. So you can see the work on the left side. It's now launched, delivery strategy and analysis by 5 people. Then on the right side, we are going to decide and to select flags. In the middle, we are going to work with our representative, our regional representative. We get 2 blocking points, which is in red. We have to take care of the president election in France. And we have to take care also on the availability of our political representative for auditions, which are planned at the end of April. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Veronique. Super. Do we have any questions for Veronique?
There's a question in the chat from
yes, I would like
to from Sweden.
Now, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, go ahead, Simona.
Yes, first of all, I would like to thank her very much to Veronique. It was very, very interesting presentation, very clear. But I have one question. When she mentioned about the selection criteria for the strategies, Veronique said something about interflag projects. It was in the first step. And I would like to ask her if by saying interflag projects, they are similar, different, connected, or what clarification I need with cooperation projects. Is it clear, Veronique?
Yes, I can't say anything about cooperation because we don't speak about cooperation clearly in the application form. So this is free. This is free for flags. If they want to mention cooperation, they can do it. But if no, it's not a mistake.
But it's not binding.
It's not
Binding, obligatoire.
No.
Okay.
In Normandy.
Merci
And we have a question from Estonia too, Oleg.
And you had a
Yes,
question earlier from Sweden, Monica.
Okay.
Okay.
Go, Oleg. We'll come back to Sweden.
Yeah, thank you, Veronique. I have a question. You mentioned there young people invitation or somehow. Could you give any example of activity what you plan to do to invite young people? Do you mean invite to be as a beneficiary or invite to be as a player in a sector? I mean, small coastal fishery sector. Thank you.
Well, it was an idea of our fishery partners. They noticed that young people are not available to go to fishery jobs. So they want to do something to attract young people to go and to choose maritime activities. That's why they wanted to put it in the strategy.
Thank you.
Is that your?
Yeah, more or less, yes. Thank you, Veronica, because we are also dealing with that issue, and we try to do some real activities, especially to make the sector younger, firstly, and secondly, to invite young people. But by our calculation, the investment what young person should do to enter into the sector, I mean small coastal fishery, is approximately 140,000 euro. And that's why I was curious to know what are you going to do, because this is very important issue for the next 7-10 years. Thank you.
That's true. I can't answer you about real activities because our partners are going to work on it. So, but the idea is to attract young people.
Mm-hmm. So that's been put as a criteria when you're selecting your flags. That will be a criteria that you will be looking at when you select your flags. Their ideas coming in for how to attract young people to fisheries and to other maritime sectors, right? So Sweden, we had a question as well from Sweden. Was that Veronica or who was it from Sweden? Yeah.
Yes, I wrote it in the chat, but maybe I can just say it. I was curious about the challenges with having a very large flags. As you set a roof for 190,000, I think, and you had previously you have a flag of 350,000. So what kind of challenges do you see with really large flags? Thank you.
The first flag in 1420. It was a difficulty for the manager because she didn't have time to help beneficiaries correctly. So that's why we wanted to reduce the roof.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so again, depending on your budget, if you have a limited budget, you have to focus a little bit. You can't see to everybody's needs. You have to make choices. Okay. Especially if you have a long coastline, it depends how concentrated they are, but if you have a long coastline, I think in that case, she just physically didn't have time to drive from one end to the other as often as she would have needed to. Right, Veronique?
Yes, they are less reactive.
I had two little clarifications, just so for your new IT system, the beneficiaries will input their projects directly into the system, right?
Yes, that's true.
Okay.
Beneficiaries can do it, and also the flags are going to access to the online system with a specific code.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And for preparatory support, I see they can request preparatory support. Was it in October or something? Around, it was
yes.
quite...
they can just write a letter to say, I want a preparatory support, but the amount of money will be later.
So when would they get that money? Is it when they submit the strategy? Or?
Yes, I think so. I think we have to develop a small document to a sort of application form.
Okay, to officialize and to make it transparent who gets the money.
Yes.
Okay.
It will be, I think, with the IT system development in March or April.
Okay, perfect. Well, I don't see any other hands up. If not, let's go on to Oleg then for your presentation on simplified cost options. Thank you very much, Veronique. It was very interesting. Thanks. Maya's just opening up the presentation. So Maya, is everything okay?
Yes, just 1 second, please. I have it right here, but I have too many documents.
Great, thank you. Over to you, Oleg.